Students of MA Final, with greetings, I would continue the discussion on Nazim Askil. And when we talk about Nazim Askil as a father of modern poetry, see, he has an assortment of themes in his poem. And I mean, in each and every poem, it strikes some peculiar aspect. And in this context, we study his next poem, that is Background Casually. Now, Background Casually is an autobiographical poem. And I mean, entire poem, it is as good as an autobiography itself. And the theme, when we talk about theme of this poem, and I mean, be it poet, lover, bird watcher, or say Night of Scorpio, or Visitor, Enterprise, Morning Prayer. I mean, all the poems, they have got remarkable themes and some peculiar aspect in each poem. And it is different from other and at the same time some common aspects as well. Now, when we talk about the poem Background Casual, see the title itself is very arresting, very, peculiar, unique title that we will discuss. But another, important feature when we talk about the theme of the poem, say, it is, based on his dedication to poetry first and also his belongingness to India. So the Indianness is again the focal point. And see, when we start discussion on this particular poem, see, concluding line of this poem, they are very significant, rather prominent, when he talks about his commitment to India. And see that there is, say, composite culture in this country, and his, his special bondings with his city, Bombay. And this poem is when we talk about some autobiographical element. I mean, his childhood and then his adolescent age and all these aspects. But now first, we would again continue with the style, because it is in this particular poem, the literary style of this poem is really very pivotal point, because there is epigrammatic brevity in this poem. Only one sentence, and he can say the most in the fewest. And see, one sentence, but it is as good as a section, because in this poem we have several sections also. And you see the style, poetic style, but at the same time narrative technique is also noteworthy here. And it seems, when we have a look at this poem, just we'll study in much detail. See, the poem in which we have, in each stanza we have 5 lines, but see, it is as good as some part of it, or we have some chapterization, as if in these sections we have. And colloquial style, as in other poems also. And this, and say, he has been a revolutionary spirit, so he is always an averse to the artificial phraseology, and see, just say the affectation too much and pomp and show of the difficult couplets and quatrains. So here the idea is that we have simplicity of expression. Fine. So, and obviously we have vivid images also, but see the style in which he as if he has developed an affinity with the readers, and congenial kind of atmosphere we have. And in which say, the idea underlying is that, see, very interestingly, he begins the poem with the first person when he say, oh, a poet, rascal. And in the very next stanza, he switches over from say first person to third person. So, that kind of very, unique expression that, mind you, the students of MA final, you must or have always better knowledge of all these important aspects in this poem besides the theme. See the unusual use of words, we have phrases also. As a colloquial style, conversational style, he has maintained throughout in the poem and in other poems as well. Now, here, unusual use of words in the sense, for instance, we have, the word he has used rascal. Generally, in poems, a few poets, they make use of certain words. So, and obviously, it is based on his experience. When we talk about autobiographical elements, his different kind of experiences, events, incidents, and with transparency, he has maintained all that throughout, and candidness, and very, outspoken, very frankly, straightforwardness he has maintained in this colloquial style, as if he is talking to ourselves. And yes, there is an image of banter. Now, do you know the meaning of word banter? I mean, image of, as if, in which two friends, they are having conversation in which, say, light-hearted sometimes, and they are making use of jokes and some amusing remarks as well. I mean, that kind of style he tends to maintain in this poem. And then, stanzaic structure also in this poem, stanzaic structure, in which we have, as in the beginning, I mentioned the point. See, poetic style, obviously, 5 lines stanza, this is stanzaic structure of the poem. But at the same time, it is rightly said that it is manifesto, as it's a manifesto of his life, entire life, and it is engulfed in this poem. So it is as good as some part and, say, some section in which, say, when he elaborates some points regarding his childhood and then his adolescent and the youth and onwards, and then how he has, as a growth of his mind. Yeah, that is also very important when he, mentioned some important events. And then, we have some metaphorical, I mean, not too much emphasis on certain kind of figure of speech. Still, some or other metaphor, for instance, when he has used the word wolves for his friend. The wolves means here, very cruel and inhumane, his, classmates. So, I mean, this literary style in which what are important features? Yes, it's, he has maintained this clarity of expression, and we have some kind of manifesto of his life and all this, peculiar style, and these are certain points also. Now, when we, talk about Nizam Askil's poetry, and especially background casually. Now, mind you, this poem, it is, say, published in Hymn in Darkness in, say, 1976. This was the year, very important year. And say, yeah, it is also called a confessional poetry. Confession, the meaning, I mean, which some kind of, when it is integrated with the theme of alienation, yes, and the theme of, say, discrimination, particularly, there is some kind of discrimination in various communities, and this theme has been predominating throughout in his poem, this kind of, and therefore, his, say, revolutionary spirit, it is reflected when he, as if he's very, very outspoken and very frankly, with, straightforwardness, he has expressed that whatever, bitter experiences. It's not that all that. Now, why it is called confessional poetry, and why he has been revolutionary spirit? Because all the time he is not glorifying that he has, passion for India, and his Indianness is, say, highlighted. But see, the point is that the poet, he has also, focused on the evils very frankly, with straightforwardness. There's some evils and follies and frivolities prevailing in India. I mean, how the people, they are sometimes very hypocrite, and how, I mean, their attitude is so inhumane. Now, when you say study background casually, but I think before that, it is very important for you to understand his other poems, like which is called his companion poem. Yeah. So this will, because these two poems, now his companion poem, what is the title of this poem? Island. And see, you would have say deeper understanding of his autobiographical poem background casual if you have some idea about this poem as well. Now, I mean, this, why it is called companion poem, because first of all, both these poems, they are published in which collection? Hymn in Darkness, and in the year 1976. This was the year. Fine. Now, his we have his favorite urban theme in this, and as I mentioned earlier also that he was born and brought up in city of Bombay. He's a belongingness to this place, and therefore some peculiar aspect of that city, and I mean yes, both the positive and negative aspects. So he tends to cover not only positive aspects of that city, yes, particularly in this poem, yes, that's why it is confessional poetry under the category of that. As and here we have pathetic picture of Indian society, in which we have, say, squalor and dirt and noise and violence. I mean, so many areas, they are covered with dirt particles, and some dirty areas, muddy areas. And not only this, other important point is that some kind of people, they have been facing the predicament, plight, and how women, they are also exploited. And then we have see the some problem burning issues like molestation. So I mean, as a revolutionary spirit, as a social reformer, yes, this is another important feature, as a social reformer as well. I mean, he has not claimed this, but this is just sort of an inference that we have, and through his poems. So in this another poem, Island. So what is the title of another poem? At this level, I reiterate the importance of this, students, yes, of MA final, that in examination, when you write the answer like Nizam Askil as a modern poet, or say as an Indian poet, so you must cover several other important features, important forces, issues, and you can make comparison like this, and you can quote certain poems like this also, Island. Now in this poem, he has mentioned the hardships of human life, even poverty, yes. And yeah, again, when we talk about his confessional poetry, or say his autobiographical poems like this Island, and say even, yeah, in India also, another that we will discuss later on while having discussion on background casually. See, in these poems, he has also depicted some areas where poor people, they have been living in slums. So that kind of empathy that students of literature should have. So yes, now I would like to focus, students, listen carefully, that Nizam Askil, it is, these poems are, an exhortation, especially for the youth of India, that they must have some zeal, some kind of passion for mission, that you must bring about some radical change in the society, and so we have paradoxes. How we have paradox? On the one hand, see, as he has say passion for India, his commitment, yes, he has used the word, I mean, very significant notion of commitment to not only to this his native place Bombay, but entire nation. And at the same time, see why it is a paradox. At the same time, he has highlighted the evils, malpractices. So, see, we cannot avoid it. That all the time, it is very important to glorify our nation. But yes, the pivotal point is that focal feature is that we must also have idea, not only idea, but we must have some kind of inner spirit to bring about this kind of change, drastic change, radical change in the society, because people, they have been living in slums since the ages, and there is no any kind of betterment for them. So this is the picture, actually real India. This is also a must to highlight. And yes, that's why Nizam Askil, he has become very popular poet in the whole range of Indian English poetry. So, modernity. I mean, he is regarded as, say, father of, modern poems or modern poetry. So these are the feature. I mean, these are the forces that you must have always idea about it. You must have better knowledge of it. And now, see, here I would like to say, cite this poem, particular island. See, this is the picture. And when you study background casually, I mean, this is the poem prescribed in your syllabus. See, it is reminiscent of this. And at this level, I have reiterated, I have laid emphasis on that. See, you can quote this also. So the poet's identification also in background casually with the city, Bombay, and India also. Yes, nation. So we have, and at the same time, he is now giving the picture. Now, what is the purpose of giving such kind of picture? So that people who are living, say in huge big mansions, and say they have all the time throughout life, they are enjoying, say, the lavish say expenditure and all that, lavishly they have been living. I mean, they must have at least idea. They should not have idea. Yes, they must have idea. About what? Slums and skyscrapers, reflecting precisely the growth of my mind. And therefore, see, the poet here, he possesses extraordinary sensibility, and therefore his innermost feelings are reflected, and it positively and adversely affects poet's mind when he has attained the maturity, growth of my mind. I mean, how can you tolerate this, that people who are suffering through, and therefore, yes, the poem, background casually, when we make comparison with this island, I mean, this poem, background casually, is also important from the point of view of composite culture of India. Then we have, yes, and I think for the first time he has mentioned three companions. Do you remember in the beginning when I commenced my discussion on Nizam Askil? At that time, I have mentioned, I had rather highlighted this point, that Nizam Askil's three very, very important, prominent companions. And in the poem, background casually, he for the first time, he has focused three companions. And in that, when we talk about slums, yes, poverty is also very important. People, wretched life, they have been suffering a lot. So can't we think of those people, being a student of literature and even others? So this is exactly the purpose. It's great contribution of poetry, generations after generations, that and poet is the first person to shed tears, and not only to shed tears, but yes, to raise voice against it, for the betterment, for the upliftment of the society is the purpose. So growth of my mind is conscious. human consciousness in your all these points, and then only you can put yourself in action. So this is not just for the sake of, say, reading purpose only, and therefore is I was born here and belong. So belongingness, I mean, obviously, it is predominating feature in Nizam Askell's poem. But at the same time, we have this kind of picture in which, poverty, philosophy, and poetry. He has passion for poetry. Now, a specific purpose of writing poetry. And then that's why, it is another important, I mean, Askell's image as a banter, as I have mentioned it earlier. It's a kind of, when we talk about his literary style, and also the theme, see this combination of theme and style, integration of theme with style, it is really noteworthy in Nizam Askell's poems. So some points here when we say proceed Nizam Askell's important poem. See, some points I would like to focus again in this particular poem. Thank you. We'll continue.